I've listened to so much crap in the last 2 weeks.
Hey, buddy.
You know, you hear all that crap, but I understood that that crap was going to come with the territory.
Hey, buddy.
But I'll live with the crap.
Buddy.
And I feel very good.
He's a disgruntled Scottish guard known for his lethal temper and his unusual eating habits. He weighs a metric ton. His name, Fat Bastard.
One of the things, Mike, that's been pointed out over the course of today and last night after the game is that you seem resigned to the fate after the game, that there wasn't much fire in you, and you sort of stood up before the media and said, well, you know, this is the way it is. Are you resigned to this fate?
You're the same guy that wrote about me when I did have the fire, that was the wrong thing to do. So who you crapping?
Well, I'm just asking.
Don't crap me now.
Tell
No.
me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Honesty is such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Lies. That's all I ever get from you. Thought by now you'd realize
I do look good.
there ain't no way to hide your lying eyes.
And it is indeed time for our signature segment, Who Ya Crappin on Chicago Sports Radio 670, the score, Boers and Bernstein. And for me, I love to keep it simple. This is something someone said, not something someone did.
And I believe we've got, 2 lines open. So if you've been waiting for the opportunity, you will call in now. It's been 2 weeks. You will be on if you're not a complete retard. 312-644-6767. And we begin in Evanston. It's Gary on the score. Hello, Gary.
Hi, guys. July 1st was the sad 19th anniversary of the tragic death of the great Michael Landon.
Who cares?
And Bonanza is better than either the All-Star game or the closer.
He's died. Hasn't Michael Landon died in about 14 or 15 different days now over the years?
Every day is the anniversary of his death.
You talk about pick a lane.
Well, anyway, during the mercifully just concluded World Cup, longtime New York Times sports writer George Vesey actually wrote that the U.S. 1-0 Cup victory over Algeria, quote, felt like a sporting event that could unify America for a few screaming moments. Well, maybe that did unify the relatively few soccer fans in this country, but even before the U.S. was eliminated, most American sports fans justifiably ignored the World Cup as it was a monumental sleep-inducing bore, featuring flopping players, whining coaches, incompetent refs, and a horrible final game. So to George Vesey and all the others who tried to ram soccer down our throats the last 2 months, who are you crapping?
George Vesey, Abe Lincoln. He's going to be 115 years old by now.
This is from Tim, who says, this is my first one, and I had to send it.
Good luck with your first crap.
Christ, Serrano.
Cornelius Corprew, director of a youth football camp, which Michael Vick could not attend this weekend for parole-related reasons, voiced his dissatisfaction with the Troubled Stars' late notice by saying, quote, I'm upset because our camp is built on integrity and character, and that's what we teach to our kids. Now, I'm sure that in this world of constant spin, there's some way you can convince yourself that having a convicted felon as your centerpiece emphasizes your values of integrity and character. After all, nothing screams character like torturing and killing animals, but let's be honest, you were only interested in the $175 a pop that his name allows you to charge for your camp. Why anyone would pay money to meet him is a subject for another discussion. The fact that you gave money to this pillar of society only emphasizes your lack of integrity and low standards of character, and the only people that should be more ashamed than you are the parents who paid money so their kid could have their picture taken with a criminal. To act upset that your moral compass / parole violator wasn't as good as his word is just projecting your anger that you're out $4,000 on your investment in a dog killer. So pay your integrity tax and shut the hell up. Cornelius Corprew, who ya crappin'?
Cornelius Corprew. That'll be the last one, I'm sure.
Ed O'Hare, blind chauffeur, is on the score.
Hello, boys.
Hi.
Hey, I'm looking forward to going up to Minneapolis and investigating Target Field myself on Sunday. Anyway.
Inspector Clouseau, are you going to the game?
Yes, I am going to the game.
Okay.
This crap goes out to Joe Bartosh. During the 4:30 update, Joe informed us that you can get your own Stanley Cup when the Blackhawks play the Yankees. Yes, and also coming soon, you could get a mini Lombardi trophy when the Saints take on the Pacers. Joe Bartosh, who you crapping?
That's my guy. Bartosh is my guy.
I thought the execution there was actually better than the choice of material.
Yes.
Downstater says, this is a quote from, at the time, unsigned free agent Chris Bosh. Quote, I don't want to be mentioned as an addition to a team. I want to be mentioned as the guy that people want to center their team around.
Uh-oh.
Chris Bosh, who you crapping?
Centerpiece.
Look who's out as Northside Pimp on Who You Crappin' on the Score.
Oh, my God.
How you been, Pimp?
What's happening, Cat Daddy? What's the deal? Listen, man, we going to hit this Cleveland LeBron thing hard. I'm saying it's the easiest stuff ever. My crap is for Dan Gilbert, who said that the Cleveland Cavaliers is finna win a title before King James. And your first move out your trick is to try to sign Kyle Lowry, and then you can't even get him? Dan Gilbert, you lying bastard. Who you crapping?
I love you, Pimp. Yes.
I love you. Your pimp or you pimp?
I love you, Pimp.
Pimp. Okay.
Tinky Winky says this goes out to Al Roker. Wednesday morning, he did a story about a great white shark spotted 2 miles off the coast near Boston. He said, officials are wondering why the shark is there. Now, Al, if the shark were spotted at the post office or at TB Diddlers, I can understand
he come in.
The meeting with Dick Duran to determine why he is there. But
also welcome.
Since the shark was spotted in the ocean, I think we could put this puppy to bed very quickly. It's an explanation covered in both Darwinism and creationism. They live there. Al Roker, who you crapping?
I'll say this for Al Roker, and I haven't seen. I've seen him recently enough to know he did keep the weight off.
Well, congratulations,
yeah.
Congratulations
That's
to
what
Al
I'm saying,
Roker.
because some don't, you know.
In St. Charles, it's Rich on the Score. Hi, Rich.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good, Rich.
Great. Listen, this goes out. You'll know who it is as soon as I say it. It's my first crap, but it's going to be a short one.
Good luck with your first crap.
Thank you. You went from Atlanta to Green Bay. Your last name, no one could say. To me, it was French, feminine, and gay. But you swore up and down it was not Fabre. Now, with pants on the ground, you are a rapping. Brett Fabre, who you crapping?
God.
Okay. I don't think he really understands the point of the segment.
I guess not, but
You're right.
I'm not sure.
No.
Dude.
Is that a requirement to make it on the air?
I guess it shouldn't be, right? This is from the Ranting Aspie, who says this goes out to the Reverend Jesse Jackson. He responded to Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert's angry harangue about LeBron James's move to the Heat by saying, quote, his feelings of betrayal personify a slave master mentality. He sees LeBron as a runaway slave, unquote.
Oh, boy.
Apparently things have changed since the 1860s, but I've never heard of 6 slave masters competing for the privilege of paying a slave over $100 million to play a game and then allowing the slave to go wherever he chooses. All kidding aside, Dan Gilbert's tirade was neither classy nor professional, but it did not personify the feelings of a slave master. They personify the feelings of a businessman who was negotiating in good faith, only to find out the other man was not. Gilbert learned that his organization and fans were being publicly strung along by James for the sole purpose of stroking his already massive ego. It is not racist for him to feel angry in this situation, nor is it racist of me to say that I will not be rooting for King James or the Heat this year or in the foreseeable future. When a public figure like Jesse Jackson tries to compare something as ultimately trivial as NBA free agency with something as historically important and tragic as American slavery, it cheapens the memory of the event and the people who were forced to endure it. It also makes the public figure sound like a flaming asshat. Jesse, I wish you would concentrate your energy on helping those in need, rather than spouting garbage in a desperate attempt to stay relevant. Since we know you won't, I'm forced to ask Jesse Jackson, who you crap?
struggle to stay relevant, I'll tell you that. They don't, and Chet Walker's name could be thrown in the hopper there, too.
Yeah, that's not the kind of relevance for which he's striving,
No,
as far as I can tell.
But Chet Walker's name is in there as well, because I don't like the terminology high-tech lynching either.
Here's another great one from a regular star of this segment, the Beverly Brewmaster, who says, AP sports writer Ronald Blum, although it applies to many others who've eulogized overbearing Yankees owner George Steinbrenner over the past 3 days. At the very beginning of Blum's obituary, he starts off by describing Steinbrenner as the controversial but beloved boss who turned around the Yankees franchise in 37 years of ownership. Countless others have expressed similar sentiment. Now, I understand that if you're not named Bernstein, you have an inclination to speak kindly of the dead. But that's no excuse to be factually wrong, and to say Steinbrenner turned around the franchise is just that. Simple math shows the inaccuracy. The Yankees won 20 World Series before Steinbrenner took over, which breaks down to one championship every 2.95 seasons.
That's pretty good.
After Steinbrenner took over in 73, they won 7 more, which breaks down to one every 5.1 seasons. Simply put, the Pinstripes won more often before Steinbrenner took over than after. What's more, Steinbrenner doesn't even get full credit for the Yankees dynasty of the late 90s, as 4 of the most significant players of that era, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and a guy named Jeter, were all signed or drafted when Steinbrenner was banned from baseball between 1990 and 1993. It was after that championship run that Steinbrenner decided he could buy a championship by spending like a drunken sailor, and it took him 9 seasons to successfully do so, despite having the highest payroll in baseball since 1999. So, Ronald Blum, if you want to credit Steinbrenner for making rich ball players even richer and pricing average fans out of the game, be my guest. But don't tell me the guy who oversaw the longest championship drought in Yankees history, the guy who amassed a whopping 2 championships in his first 23 years of ownership, turned the franchise around. Ronald Blum, who you crappin'?
Now that's really good.
In Lakeview, unemployed lawyer is on the score.
They should turn Chris Henry back around, too, I guess.
Turn his life around.
Yeah. I credit George Steinbrenner for that. Talking to Sports Illustrated's Ian Thompson about the new Heat roster, Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert said, quote, "I don't think their experiment is going to work. I just don't see Wade and gelling together on the court. Never mind that Wade and James got along well enough on Team USA to make a blood brother pinky swear oath to play together someday. The real failed personnel experiment was surrounding James with the likes of Mo Williams, Antoine Jamison, Ben Wallace, irresistible sexual icon Delonte West, and the very bloated corpse of Shaquille O'Neal. Dan, you can be upset about losing the league's best player, but at this point, even I wouldn't want to hang out with you for $120 million, and I don't have a job. Dan Gilbert, who you crappin'?"
We are in the midst of Who Ya Crappin'. That's exactly what we're doing here on Chicago Sports Radio 670 The Score. You can reach out to us, 312-644-6767. Come out and play Who Ya Crappin'. Chicago Sports Radio 670 The Score. We are in the midst of Who Ya Crappin' here on Chicago Sports Radio 670 The Score.
Testing 1 2.
Still plenty of time for it. Yeah, jump ahead in 312-644-6767.
Here's one that was sent in by one of my favorite monikers, Elton Brand's Mother's Hands. You have to be a longtime Bulls fan to understand that reference. Says this goes out to Reno, Nevada's KRNV TV morning news anchor Sherry Hatamiya.
Okay.
Who, when wrapping up her story on the nation's farewell to our country's longest-serving congressional legislator, said, "Mourners remembered him as a senator and son of West Virginia, a student of history, devoted lawmaker, erudite orator, and staunch defender of the Senate's dignity. Dead at 92, Larry Byrd." Wait a minute.
Hold on.
You mean the guy who we all thought was a 22-year-old All-American from Indiana State when the Celtics drafted him in 1979 was actually a 61-year-old U.S. Senator from West Virginia? What about all the Hick from French Lick stuff? And then he won his first NBA championship at 63? His third consecutive MVP award 3 years after he became eligible for Social Security. He played in his last 12 All-Star games at 74 and was 80 when named NBA Coach of the Year. The only thing that makes sense is the staunch defender thing, having made the all-defensive second team at the age of 66. And to think of it, all while representing the toothless residents of the great state of West Virginia. Talk about multitasking. Who knew? So, Sherry, 10 years from now, when you're wondering why you're stuck in Reno reporting on amateur bowling and Texas Hold'em tournaments, watch a recording of your coverage of the passing of Senator Robert Byrd. You know, the guy who used to be a member of the KKK, not the Byrd who was a star in the NBA, and you'll know why you're in Reno. Sherry Hatamia, who you crappin'?
I'll let you say.
In Avalon Park, it's my favorite underrated superhero, Black Physicist, on the score.
Hello, friends.
Wow, the physicist is with us. Look out here.
This crap is for Terry Boers. Last Wednesday, on the eve before LeBron James made his amazing declaration, Terry was talking about the possibilities of LeBron going to New York, stating that New York's championship history consisted of winning the NBA title in 1970 and 1972. Well, you got the first one right, Terry. They did take the crown in 70. However, in 1972, the victors of the NBA Finals were the Los Angeles Lakers. So, Terry, for that half-truth, who you crap?
Okay, you got me. 73?
He always gets out of technicality there, doesn't he, Black
73?
Physicist? I think it was 73. I think it's probably right. Tank Johnson's trigger finger says this goes out to Lance Armstrong regarding the federal investigation against him and former associates for possible fraud and doping charges. From the AP article, Armstrong says, quote, as long as we have a legitimate and credible and fair investigation, we'll be happy to cooperate, but I'm not going to participate in any kind of witch hunt. I have no argument with Armstrong not wanting to be part of some unfounded investigation, but we're talking about a federal prosecutor here. And Armstrong's defense for not wanting to be a part of it because I've done too many good things for too many people is an example of hubris at its worst. I'm not saying that the Livestrong Foundation hasn't done a lot of good. I'm just saying to use that as an excuse to put yourself above questioning in a federal investigation is nothing short of ridiculous. Lance Armstrong, who you crappin'?
You think he even knew that?
No.
Lance? I mean, I'm not sure he did.
Josh in Hyde Park, you're on the score.
This crap goes out to Dan Bernstein.
Hello.
Thank you. 2 weeks ago, in a very tender moment, Terry said he would be very depressed if he outlived Matt or Jason, to which Dan replied, no, you wouldn't. You'd be dead. Dan, the whole point of outliving someone is you're still alive. Dan Bernstein, who you crapping?
Yeah, I guess it's probably true, isn't it?
I think that's what you said. Yeah, I think he's absolutely. Thank you for that, my friend. Thank you for protecting me and my rights as a dead man. No, I think he's. I think that's what
right.
I said.
I
think that's what I said.
It
But
is.
that's okay. You do what you want to do.
Here's a great catch from Hayden Fry's mustache. Who says this goes out to Rob Dibble, who at the end of an interview with Fox Sports Radio last Saturday was asked his opinion on LeBron James's decision to hold an hour-long TV special to announce he was leaving Cleveland. An angry Dibble responded, I spent 7 years of my life in Ohio, and I think the people of that state deserve to be treated better than that. Well, Rob, your newfound concern for the ethical treatment of Ohio residents would have come in handy back on April 28th of 1991. That's the day you chucked a baseball at a group of fans sitting in the bleachers at Riverfront Stadium, injuring a pregnant woman from Ohio. Rob Dibble, who you crappin'.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's the essence right
yeah, it is.
there.
Nice.
Very good.
Here's Chip in his car on the score. Chip, you're on Who You Crappin'.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Chip.
Hey, this one goes out to Kendall Gill, who just a couple of days ago during an interview was asked, when is your next fight? And he said, well, I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon. And the reporter asked, well, how come? He said, too many blows to the head? He said, no, too many to the body. You know, those body shots stay with you longer than headshots do. I was kind of taken aback by that, thinking that repeated blows to the head, which cause concussions, can lead to something such as dementia, as opposed to a broken rib, which can heal over a short period of time. So to Kendall Gill, who are you crapping?
Nicely done. And it is now time for, is it the second time in these studios, right?
Second time.
Second time.
Yeah. And it's an easy one.
We're checking Terry's manometer.
You know, I mean, come on now. It's a 2-foot putt. Where did I get it this time?
The Isle of Man?
No, Man United's here.
Oh, that's right. That's why Mulligan was here late yesterday. That's right.
Man
Manchester.
United.
Sorry, Manchester. Sorry. But the pressure will be, I don't know, he might have to have Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosch help him out with it, but Q on the north side will bear the pressure.
He'll lift their luggage for him.
It is a privilege and an honor, gentlemen.
Hello, Q.
In a 2006 magazine article written by Booyah Windsock Chris Broussard, LeBron James is quoted as saying that it's all about competing and trying to be the best. It's also important to me to make the team I'm on now the best. I don't want to go ring chasing, as I call it. You know, going to a team that's already pretty well established and trying to win a ring with them. I want to stay with the Cavs and build a champion. And while feelings can change over the course of 3 years regarding the Cavs, you did not go to an established team. You went to an established player and asked him to be the best. So while Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade will be chasing Michael Jordan, you will forever be chasing Scottie Pippen. So LeBron James, while you're having all your buddies make all your decisions for you, ask yourself the question, who are you crapping? Mustache.
You make us wonder with the things you say. Maybe you were having an off day.
Wow. I don't know what that was, but something's wrong with him. Hey,
buddy. Hey, buddy. Who you crapping?